You are listening to Shaun of the South podcast, brought to you by Food City, fresh, local, and full of flavor. From certified Angus beef and locally grown produce to fresh sushi, wings, and Dietz and Watson deli meats, Food City has it all, ready to go. Enjoy curbside pickup, full-service floral, and pharmacies that accept thousands of insurance plans and benefit cards. Earn fuel bucks and save at any Gas and Go fuel center, because nobody does food like Food City. Find your nearest store at foodcity.com.
Boaz, Alabama is a town about as big as your average water heater closet. It was a quiet night in Boaz. The sun had set, the houses were lit from the insides, and the windows looked like little orange squares in the night. The Bevel Center was packed. The parking lot was slammed. Families of all kinds gathered in the auditorium for this upcoming Veterans Day to watch their fifth graders put on a concert. Demographically, the audience was all over the map. The place was full of pre-concert chatter, a happy, bubbly sound that filled the room. Kids were horsing around, babies were crying, dads were shaking hands and slapping each other's backs to prove that they were good backslappers. Mothers were catching up on local gossip. Teens were forming respective clots. And then the curtain lifted. On stage, the Boaz fifth graders were all wearing red, white, and blue t-shirts, organized to form a living flag. Miss Ritchie took the stage next. "She's been directing choir here since I was a kid," said one woman in the audience. "Most people in this room had Miss Ritchie for choir when they were kids." Miss Ritchie had the troops in good shape that night. The fifth graders occupied the risers in order according to height. Little kids below deck, tall kids topside. And I noticed they were all wearing looks of nervousness, the kind you often see at school programs. I could see one little boy's hands were quivering. Another little girl was bouncing her legs in her chair like she had to pee. My first thought at school concerts is always, why do we do this to our kids? You see, I remember doing the same concerts when I was a kid. I was so nervous on that stage I might as well have been naked. I remember thinking, why are the adults making us do this? After all, not everybody wants to be a singer. Not everyone wants to be on a stage before 1 trillion people. And even fewer will sign up for public speaking electives in high school. Fact, public speaking is the world's #1 phobia. It affects 75% of the globe. Glossophobia, it's called. Those who suffer often have to vomit before making public appearances. Others have to change their trousers, and many do both. So why do this to our kids? What's the point? Especially when there's no greater state of underconfidence than being in 5th grade. The nerves on the stage were palpable. Some kids looked like they wanted to disappear. Others looked like the proverbial doe in the headlight beams. The concert began. The kids sang songs about America. There were recitations, poems, dances. One girl wore an oversized Uncle Sam hat and did a pantomime performance. Midway through the performance, a projection screen unfurled to display a slideshow of old photographs of veterans, some deceased, some living, but all veterans were related somehow to the people in this auditorium. A black and white image of a serviceman from Vietnam. Pictures from Korea. Hitler's War, Iraq, Afghanistan. An image of a young seaman in his Dixie Cub hat. A soldier in digicam fatigues wearing ACH headwear. National Guardsmen, Marines, Air Force captains, rear echelon guys, COs, brass hats. There must have been hundreds of photos shown. And after each photo, the room applauded. Kids and audience members alike. One boy on stage stood and showed full salute throughout the whole presentation. Then, the kids sang the official songs of the military branches. Caissons go rolling along. Anchors away, my boys. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Off we go into the wild blue yonder. the official song of the Coast Guard, the official song of Space Force. With each song, veterans in the audience stood, male and female, young and old. They stood at attention, shoulders back. There were several vets who stood to represent the Air Force, even more who stood to represent the Army and the Navy, and only one Marine. Then, a little girl who was blind took center stage, a 5th grader. She was fidgeting with her t-shirt, nervous probably. The girl sang "We Honor You" on Veterans Day, with the voice of a cherub. People cried. The song ended. The place came unglued. Whereupon Miss Ritchie finished by leading us all in a rendition of "God Bless America." I sang. So did everyone else. A few of us even sang harmony. And everyone knew the words. And that's when I suddenly realized why we do this to our children. And I pray we never quit.
Well, thanks for listening to Sean of the South. I've been your host today, Sean Dietrich, and it has been a true privilege. To find out anything more about what I do, you can visit SeanDietrich.com, or for those who are not particularly good spellers, you can visit SeanOfTheSouth.com, and there you can find out all sorts of information that you didn't know you didn't need to know about me. And while you're there, I hope you take the time to drop me a line. Tell me what's important to you. Tell me what's going on in your life. I'd like to hear it. And in case anyone hadn't told you today already, I love you. Now go say that to somebody else. Have a great day.